Hey guys, welcome back to the Law of Attraction series, episode 4. In today's episode, I want to talk to you about a single component in the science of manifestation that will help us start to see how exactly it is that we create our reality on a metaphysical level. We're not talking about some kind of abstract or magical concept here, but we're talking about an actual scientific law, as reliable as the law of gravity. And when you understand law of attraction as a science, then it makes it a lot easier to trust and rely on in the same way that you trust and rely in gravity. You never doubt or second guess that it's working. And in the same way, you should never doubt or second guess that the law of attraction is always working. And so in today's episode, I want to explain one of these concepts behind law of attraction, which is the probability vortex. This is an inescapable truth. You are creating your reality. But why is this the case? The answer is because we live in a free will universe, which means that despite your ignorance of its principles, you must nevertheless be allowed to choose your preference in every given moment. And now quantum mechanics shows us empirically that what we call reality is actually not real at all in the way that we conceptualize it. But reality is actually one infinite field of possibility probability. And so for the sake of simplicity, I like to call it the probability vortex. You can look at the material universe as a table of billiard balls, random objects moving through space, colliding into one another, and changing their trajectories. Quantum mechanics shows us that the material universe is solely based upon probability, meaning that whatever is most likely to happen is usually what does happen. So let's talk about the 3 ways that we create reality, which is through thoughts, feelings, and actions. Now, literally everything is vibration. Everything that is perceivable in any way at all is a form of vibration. So this could be objects such as my body, your body, the cars we drive, the camera I'm recording this on, and even down to the most subtle and abstract things such as thoughts and feelings and states of consciousness are all unique forms of vibration. And so in the same way that we say birds of a feather flock together, we can also say that vibrations of similar frequencies vibrate together, meaning like attracts like. So what this means for us is that every thought, every feeling, and every action that we take creates a unique vibration which opens a probability vortex or a field of possibility. So thoughts create the smallest vortex, feelings the second largest, and actions create the largest vortex. Another way you can think about it is thoughts tend to create feelings, and then feelings tend to create actions. And as we know, when you act upon your desire, then you exponentially increase the likelihood of attracting probabilities that match that desire. But even though actions are the most powerful catalyst for creation, we are still capable of creating our reality through thoughts alone. And this has been confirmed beyond any shadow of a doubt by many scientists such as Dr. Joe Dispenza and Dawson Church, who have performed hundreds of comprehensive scientific experiments that demonstrate the profound effects that thought alone can have upon the material world. And so the important takeaway here is that we need to regard everything within our state of consciousness as equally important, because every action that you take, even down to every thought you have, still has some consequence in time and space. So just like we see in the double slit experiment, whenever you take an action, you open a probability field or vortex that contains every possible outcome of that action. So whatever's most likely to happen is usually what does happen, although there's always deviations and anomalies. But this is exactly why choosing the thoughts, feelings, and actions that make you feel good is always the best choice, because with every action that you take, you are opening probability fields that make it more likely to bring you outcomes that match those good feelings. Now here's the game-changing factor. These vortices of probability that your actions create are polarized to a greater or lesser extent depending upon the level of desire or intention or expectation behind the action. Meaning that if you don't really want or believe or expect it to happen, then you are literally polarizing that vortex to the negative end of the spectrum, meaning you're more likely to attract the outcomes that are of the negative orientation. And the reverse is also true. So the bottom line is, when you really want something, when you really expect something, you create a narrow band vortex, meaning you narrow the probabilities down to the ones that are closer to your desired outcome. And when you don't really want something or you don't expect it, then you create a wide band vortex, increasing the likelihood of attracting the negative outcomes that you don't want. And this is simply what all law of attraction teachers say, usually in somewhat less scientific terms, that positive thoughts and feelings create positive outcomes. It's really that simple. One of the things I stress the most in my videos is the importance of having desire and passion and expectation for what you're trying to manifest. And so really all three of these words are just three ways of saying the same thing, which is ultimately your intention. Whatever you're desiring is what you are intending. Whatever you're intending is what you're expecting, and vice versa. And so in order to help you see the importance of intention, there's three quick analogies I'm going to give you to help you understand this better. You could look at intention or desire as the level of urgency in an email. If you're familiar with how corporate emailing works, you can actually flag your email according to the level of urgency, all the way down from not important to urgent, open immediately. And so the more intention or desire you have behind your actions, the more urgent of an email request you're sending up to the universe. You could also look at it like this. Anytime you're asking the universe for something, it's like you're placing a quarter in a gumball machine. The machine has gumballs that are blue, yellow, red, green, pink, purple, orange, etc. And let's say that you're asking for a green gumball. Well, your level of desire and intention behind placing the quarter in is going to dictate the probability of getting a green gumball. So your desire or intention creates a vibratory frequency within your consciousness that matches the frequency of the green gumball and therefore increases your likelihood of getting it. Lastly, it's also helpful to think of your desire or intention as a magnet and the universe as a field of tiny lead particles. Now, many of us performed this experiment when we were in grade school. We were given magnets of greater or lesser size and different positive or negative polarizations, and we would move the magnets across the table full of tiny lead particles. And we would then watch as the magnets of greater strength could pull or repel the lead particles from further distances away than the weaker magnets could. So the lesson here is obvious, right? Your desire or intention is your magnet. So until you get emotionally involved with it, you are not attracting it. But whenever you think a thought that brings forth emotion, then you are accessing the creative power of the universe. And Jesus taught this very same principle in Mark 11:24 when he said, I tell you the truth, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe you have already received it and it will be yours. So like I said at the beginning of the video, this is an inescapable truth as surely as the law of gravity, that you are creating your reality. And if you don't want to believe that you are the creator of your reality, then you will simply generate one that reinforces that belief that you're just a victim. So even in that instance, you're still creating your reality. So why not choose to see your preference? Why not choose the thoughts and feelings and actions that make you feel good, that are most relevant for you, that reinforce your highest potential? Life is so much better when you step out of the victim mentality that life is just happening to me and into your true role and identity as a co-creator of this universe. Because when you don't know that you are the catalyst, that the field of possibility is collapsing around, then you will continue to allow your circumstances to dictate how you think and feel, rather than the reverse, which is the way it was intended to be. You tell reality what to do, not vice versa. You have the power to choose your preference in every moment, to ignore the things that don't resonate with who you want to be, and to give your attention, to give your intention to the things that do. If you believe that you are a victim, life will treat you like one. But you did not come here to be a victim. You came here to be a co-creator. And so it is you and only you who decide the way that you see yourself. And it is from that point of view that you create.